everyone, Brittany here from Just Be Crafty. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is a little bit different. I thought that it would be fun to just have like a little afternoon of like hanging out with some friends and just sitting here and knitting. So if you have a knit or crochet project that you're currently working on, pause the video, grab yourself your project, get yourself a little snack, and settle in for some little friendly knit, crochet, and chat time. I'll share with you what I have. So I have my blood orange spindrift, which is quite delicious. Very, very good. I also have a little plate of Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers are the absolute best. As for my knitting project, I am working on a pair of socks. This is sock number 1 out of 2. I haven't started on the second one yet. This has been really fun to work on. This yarn is just a yarn I had in my stash. It's a 100% superwash merino wool. It's in this really pretty like pink and purpley type colorway. That tends to be what I gravitate towards. I think I have 2 other pairs of socks that are probably super close to this color. But anyway, I love knitting socks. I don't have too many. I have 3 pairs, I think, that are done and that are just sitting in my sock drawer. And then I have 3 or 4 other pairs that are about halfway done. So I have like 1 sock done, and then my second sock is almost done on those other pairs. So I'll have to share those with you at a later date. But I'll just kind of walk you through this sock. So it looks a little bit wonky, as you can see. The cuff is like super skinny, and then the foot looks huge, but that's just because I did the ankle in ribbing, and so I haven't blocked it yet, so it's cinched together. But once I block it and put it on my little sock blocker, it'll look much more like a pretty balanced sock. I started it off with the tubular cast on. If you've never done the tubular cast on, if you've never heard of the tubular cast on and you're a knitter, it's a wonderful technique. I love the tubular cast on. It creates, so if for any project that you're starting with ribbing, like sock cuffs or hat brims or like sweater hems, anything that you start with ribbing, it just creates like a rolling effect. So like the ribbing just kind of goes from the front and rolls to the back. It's awesome. If you don't know how to do it, you need a refresher. I made a complete tutorial on how to do it, so I'll have that linked below and up here somewhere so you can check that out. So I started with that cast on, and it's nice and stretchy too. Actually, I did this a little, I'm not gonna lie, I did it a little bit tight. I think for my next sock, I will maybe size up a needle for my cast on. Sorry, I got a text message. I think I will size up a needle for my cast on for my next sock, because I can still get it over my foot, but it is a little bit tight. But with the tubular cast on, it is a pretty stretchy, it creates a pretty stretchy edge, which is nice for things like socks and sweaters and hats. But anyway, for the cuff, I started with a 1x1 ribbing, and then I rearranged my stitches from a 1x1 ribbing into a 2x2 ribbing. So I did my 1x1 ribbing for about 1 inch, and then I went into 2x2 ribbing. And transitioning from a 1x1 ribbing to a 2x2, I actually rearranged my stitches, and it just creates this really, I'm trying to find the word, polished look to go from 1x1 ribbing to 2x2 ribbing. Actually, I show you how to do it in that tubular cast on video. Again, if you're interested in this technique at all, go check it out. It's a little bit finicky, but once you've practiced it a couple times, I promise you'll get it. If you've never knitted before, I probably wouldn't start with these techniques that I'm talking about. So anyway, I already told you that. So anyway, so this is a 2x2 ribbing for the ankle, and then I did a short row heel, and then I am just knitting on the foot. I'm almost done with the foot, and I'm getting ready to decrease for the toe. I still have a couple more rows till I need to start decreasing for the toe. So I'm just kind of on an easy spot, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier to knit and talk. I wish I would have put a progress keeper on, because I'd be curious to see how many rows I can do while I'm sitting here talking to you. My guess is not that many. I think I'm going to get distracted as I'm talking, and I'll probably stop knitting. Although now that I'm saying that, I feel like I'm going to definitely try to keep knitting while I'm talking. We'll see. But anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to just kind of do an informal video and just sit and sit and chat with you. I haven't done one of these before. But anyway, I'm curious to know like what you're working on. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're working on. So anyway, what should we talk about today? We were talking about socks. Let's keep talking about socks. I love knitting on socks, and I really want to make a tutorial on how to do a pair of socks because I just love making them so much. But kind of the thought of describing how to knit socks, it's not a complicated process, it's not hard, but kind of thinking about how to explain it in a YouTube video and how to edit it. Like, I mean, I know it can be done, I know I can do it, but it's just kind of like feels like a lot to wrap my head around. But I really want to get something out there because I love knitting on socks. And if you've seen any of my knit and crochet podcasts that I have, what I'm working on, I know I've talked about making a knitting tutorial, and I think I did start a while ago. So I have like super old footage, so I'll probably, I don't know, it's old now, and I think I finished the pair of socks that I was working on in the video. I think I finished them, not on camera, so I'll need to restart that tutorial. But I really want to have something out, and kind of going back to the knit crochet podcast that I did called What I'm Working On. It's that as a designer, that is really difficult to do like a weekly podcast of what I'm working on. I do want to bring that back, but kind of change up like what I talk about in it, maybe answering like comment questions, or I don't know, to have it kind of be a little bit more interactive. I do want to change it up because having it strictly just being what I'm working on is really, really difficult because as a designer, a lot of times I'm either working on the same thing. So I'd be talking about the same projects for multiple episodes, which I guess if I'm knitting something, that's not that big of a deal, but if it's a pattern that I'm releasing, I might not want to release a whole bunch of detail. I might not want to talk about it too much before it comes out. One of the reasons being is sometimes I knit something for a design or crochet something. It's hard to keep up with as a designer just for that aspect. And then sometimes there's designs that I'm working on, like if I'm doing something commissioned for a yarn company, I'm not allowed to talk about it. So I'm working on something, but it's like, well, I can't talk about it. So I don't know, a weekly podcast like that where I'm talking about what I'm working on is just, I need to kind of reframe it because I do want to have more of those videos, and makes me feel a little bit more connected to you, and they're really fun to do, and they're a lot easier to edit than like a tutorial. They're easier to come out with, like, you know, they're a lot easier to make than a tutorial. And so that's kind of what I thought that this would be fun, so we could kind of hang out. It could be a little bit more personal, a little bit more interactive. We could kind of like hang out for a little bit, way more so than a tutorial. So I do love tutorials. Those are still going to be coming out. But anyway, so I thought this would be fun. So to kind of catch you up on what's been going on in my life, I can't believe it's already April. This year, I feel like 2024 is both flying and just kind of crawling so slow at the same time. I mean, when I think like, okay, it's April, it's like, wow, it seems like it was just New Year's. But at the same time, like the past, like, I don't know, probably past like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, it's been crawling pretty much. A lot has kind of happened in the new year for myself and my family. My grandmother, who taught me how to knit, she sadly passed away at the end of February, and that was very, very difficult. I'm very, very, very close to her. It was very difficult, I mean, for me, you know, and obviously the rest of my family. And so that was very sad. She worked so hard at making every holiday and every just like family event just so special. I'm not gonna say too much because I'll probably just start crying. but anyway, I love her so much, and I miss her terribly. I talk a little bit, just briefly, about her in my very first podcast episode. I think I just briefly mentioned her, about her teaching me how to knit, which is very special to me because it sparked basically my entire career. But anyway, she really she wasn't a knitter. She did know enough, and she was kind enough to teach me how to knit. So she bought me my first knitting needles and my first yarn. But anyway, so yeah, it's been a difficult, you know, past past 6 weeks. So, but anyway, and then in that time, a couple weeks ago, also my husband and I went to Key West, and that was a lot of fun. It was nice to just kind of take a little bit of break from some sadness, and it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. I had never been there before, and well, none of us had. And so that was a blast. But anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on here. And I am sitting in my living room today, and you might be able to hear my beagle Jake. He's dreaming in the background, so that you might hear it. In other news, depending on, well, this video will probably go live in a few days. So today that I'm filming this is Tuesday, and so yesterday was the solar eclipse. If you don't already know, I used to live in North Carolina, but a couple years ago I moved back to my hometown of Pennsylvania, and we were in the path of totality for the eclipse, which was super cool. It was really awesome. So we had a really great view of the eclipse. We had a really great day. We had some family over. We made some good food, and we sat in the driveway. It was a gorgeous day, and we just put our glasses on and just looked up at the sky for 2.5 hours basically, and watched the eclipse come, saw totality, and then watched it leave. And it was really cool. If you ever get a chance to see an eclipse, or if there's one in your area, it's gonna be quite a while before there's another one, and it won't occur in my area for not in my lifetime. So, or I think probably in really any of our lifetimes. But anyway, it was definitely an experience. It was really, really cool, really fun. And it was funny because the day before that, we had a really clear day. It was nice. It was kind of on the chillier side, but still it was a gorgeous day to be outside, you know, with like a coat on. And my camera just shut off, and I'm not really sure why, so I don't think I have too much more time. But anyway, so it was really funny because the weather was nice the day before, and then yesterday, Monday, happened, and it was cloudy, it was rainy, and we were like, oh no, because there's so many visitors came in from out of town to see the eclipse. I mean, there was so many events, like local events going on, and basically locals were kind of told to stay home essentially because there was going to be so much traffic and just so much hubbub going on, which was fine because I mean, we live here and we could all see it beautifully from, you know, our own yards and driveways and stuff like that. But anyway, the weather was really crappy in the morning. It was kind of warm, but then it basically all the way up until noon almost, and then 2 o'clock happened and the clouds kind of cleared. It was still a little bit cloudy. We were able to see everything. I'll be sure to pop in a few pictures so you can see what we got to see. But anyway, it was a really, really cool experience. So that's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. You know, this video was kind of different from what I normally do. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up and letting me know in the comments below. Because if you did like this, I will definitely do more of these videos. Stuff like this is a lot of fun to do because it's just a little bit more interactive, and I feel like I'm actually hanging out with you. It makes me feel a little bit more connected to you guys. So if you did enjoy this, you know, please do let me know so I know to keep making these. And that's all I have for today. I really hope you have a good rest of your day, that you find some time to get a few more stitches in, and that you eat something tasty, and that you stay hydrated. Maybe go for a walk, take care of yourself. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.